urgency going down the first.
Blomquist takes inside. 1-0. Blomquist extended his hitting streak to 14 games with a single in the first inning. Grounded to Walker at second and then struck out swinging in the third. Gerardo Parr, the runner at second. Going to chase one down. This Diamondbacks team has really retooled their personnel over the last few years. Finding a spare part here and a spare part there. And this year, certainly it's worked out.
Well, definitely the surprise of the National League. Who would have thunk it?
Kevin Towers now the general manager here. 15 years at GM. He'd been with the Padres for a long time. And has taken over the reins here in Arizona. They've got to be pretty pleased with the ball club. Guy's got a lot of experience. There's KT. Kevin Towers, a pretty good guy too. Here comes the 2-2. 3-2. Magnozzi and McCutchen trying to get on the same page now. Full count, 2 outs to Blomquist. Got him right by him. Blomquist throws the bat. He goes down swinging for the second time in a row. Lee, Walker, and Ludwig coming up.
Well, the first name that comes to mind is a guy that you were talking about earlier that you saw last weekend in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati native.
Yeah, we had him in the booth. Had him in the booth. They brought back the 1979 Pirates, the world champions, and of course Dave Parker was part of that crew. Did he have 100 home runs as a Red is the question.
Well, I know one thing. He had a couple of great years here. One of those years he could have been the league MVP.
Yes, he could have.
Well, what a player he was. Well, you know, I saw where he was, talking about his numbers and his career and stacked up against some of those guys in recent years that have gone into the Hall of Fame. And I think there's a legitimate argument there that Dave Parker could be voted into baseball's Hall of Fame.
Well, Phil Garner we had on also, and he had an interesting take on a number of players that we brought up names about Hall of Fame eligibility, and rather than look at the overall numbers, his point was, was he one of the dominant players in his era? And I'd have to say yes to Dave Parker on that. I mean, he was intimidating. He hit for power. He hit for average. He could steal bases. He was a very good outfielder.
Phenomenal arm. Well, you have it there in front of you on a computer. I mean, just for some of the fans who, aren't familiar with some of the precise numbers, is there's strike 3 to Valentine. Home runs, RBIs for Dave Parker are what?
Overall, he's a .290 hitter lifetime.
Wow, that's a good number.
Yeah. Played about 18 years in the major leagues. We'll take another look first at the little split finger changeup that Daniel McCutchen uses as an off-speed pitch. Inquired about that before the ball game, and you see the good depth it has when he stays on top of it or roll right up.
3 for Jay falls short, and here comes Ballantine. 2 outs, a runner still down at first. Vladimir flied out to right first time up. Cardinals in Milwaukee are underway in St. Louis, scoreless in the first inning. Mets in Houston 1-1 in the fifth. Florida leads Philadelphia 4-2 in the fifth, and Washington leads Atlanta 4-2. Out on the West Coast, San Francisco at San Diego, that's still to come. And then there's the Colorado Dodger matchup. All along, everybody was thinking, well, the Rockies are in pretty good shape in the wild card, and guess what? They've got a chance to win the division. Wouldn't that be something for Jim Tracy, who's the odds-on favorite to be manager of the year in the National League? Boy, they're finishing strong till the end. A 3-game series in LA. Your Honda standings update. Ubaldo Jimenez against Randy Wolf. That's your pitching matchup for tonight at Dodger Stadium.
Well, George, I got to ask you a question about the postseason because you're my answer man. What is this about the New York Yankees having the option of deciding when they will start the postseason? Don't they have an hour after their last game to decide what they're going to do? Explain that to me.
It's the team with the best record. It depends on what, I mean, whether you want 2 days off or 1 day off, whether you want basically how you want to run your rotation. And it depends on obviously who you're going to face. For the Yankees, it looks like they'll avoid the Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, which is good for them because they've never played well against them. The only question will be who they want to face. Now, they've got some serious questions with their rotation, especially with Jobber.
It's new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. Well, great night here at the ballpark. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Phillies leading 5-2. Hunter Pence made his Phillies debut earlier tonight. Daniel McCutchen will take over for the Pirates here in the sixth. McCutchen threw 92 pitches the other day in Atlanta in that 19-inning game. But Clint Hurdle felt like he was rested enough where he could work tonight if he needed him. 3-2 with a 2.21 earned run average. He'll face Victorino, Utley, and Howard, and if anybody gets on, then Pence will get a chance to bat here in the sixth. We have Daniel McCutchen over from the Yankees organization, and Andrew McCutchen, who is a Pirate through and through. Both with hair flopping all around. Victorino's 1 for 3, scored a run in the third. It's kind of neat to have Pence's debut here at home.
Oh, yeah. Makes him feel a lot better. I mean, he's got to feel like he's coming to an all-star type team.
Because the last 2 years, Lee, he debuted in San Francisco. Remember, the Phillies were in Arizona when Ruben Amaro made the deal. And Oswalt debuted in Washington. Lee pitched a complete game in his Phillies debut. Oswalt didn't pitch badly, but wound up losing to the Nationals. Victorino fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count.
Well, the one thing, though, that Ruben Amaro Jr. has been able to do, I mean, they need a particular player. He takes his time and goes out and tries to fill the void. You know, the other thing, I think he's given the guys a great opportunity, and I'm talking about the guys in the outfield, great opportunity to see whether or not that they would be able to be the answer by playing. We're mostly talking about Mayberry Jr. and Dominic Brown.
It's 2-2 to Victorino. The ball's in the dirt. It really got a piece of McHenry.
Those catchers, they get beat up, foul tips, balls bouncing in the dirt, going off their bodies.
There's John Mayberry. Still up here as a an extra outfielder for the Phillies. Victorino hits a foul over the left side, out of play. It remains 3-2. And Victorino's down on strike. Second time he's gone down swinging. And one away here in the 6th. That'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Sunday nights.
Summer value. The get-go summer value pack.
I think Doc wound up with 19 wins that year, 1971. Great year.
What a year 71 was. What a decade. The 70s for the Pirates.
First full season at Three River Stadium. Started a whole lot of stuff going on in that yard.
Celebrating this year the many great moments. That 71 championship season. Yeah, it was on to Three Rivers, the transition from Forbes. And then at the end of that decade, 1979, they went back as the family to beat Baltimore. And then the transition in the 80s where things started to slide. That consortium of businesses in Pittsburgh took over the franchise. The hiring Mac Prine, the president, then hired Sid Thrift as the GM, who then hired Jim Leland, and that brought the Pirates back not only into contention but 3 consecutive National League Eastern Division titles in 90, 91, and 92. And tonight we sit here. The Pirates, with a record of 46-42, will be over 500 at the All-Star break for the first time since that 1992 season.
Was Mayor Caligiuri involved?
Yep, very much so.
Yeah,
Mayor Caligiuri,
private public consortium,
played a huge role keeping this team here in Pittsburgh. Talk about a huge role. Daniel McCutchen has been huge. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Pirates down by 2.
Now Victor Martinez coming up to the plate, and the Pirates shifting defensively. Nobody on. Steve Pearce has the left side of the infield to himself. Cedeno over on the second base side. And Neil Walker out in short right field. 0-1 the count to Martinez. Victor walked and scored the game's first run back in the second inning, driven in by Casper Wells' RBI single. Strike 2. Daniel McCutchen not fooling around here this afternoon.
And one of those guys you love to play behind. He works fast, throws strikes. Typically you'll get a lot of action, although that hasn't been the case through 1 1/3.
Time is called. Victor Martinez looks out on the field and see where he might find an opening. He's hit 6 balls to the left side this year safely. Maybe tried to go that way and struck out. 4 strikeouts for McCutchen. So 2 men out now in the top of the 8th inning. Time for a Coors Light cold hard blast.
Cabot wood stains. The one in the yellow can. Cabot. That's the pro.
So here is Ryan Ludwig. Solid double to left field his last time to the plate. He's driven in a run with a ground out in the 4th. So 1 for 3 with a run batted in, his 13th. I take that back, his 15th. And the pitch outside from Daniel McCutchen.
He's got a good bat when he gets the ball inside. When it's outside, he tries to pull it. Sometimes it doesn't work.
6'2", 210-pound right-hander. Daniel McCutchen. Pop-up foul. First base side. That will be out of play. It's 1-1. He was a starter for the Pirates last year. Made his first start against the Diamondbacks last April. He was optioned the next day down to Indianapolis, and then came back up. Made another start last year and was kind of in and out of the rotation most of last season. Finished at 2-5 with a high ERA at 6.12. 28 appearances, 9 starts. And a pitch call to strike at the knees on the outside corner, 1-2. 7-2 Pirates in the 8th. Again, if you just joined us, there was a roster move made today as Orlando Hudson was placed on the 15-day disabled list with the strained right hamstring. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. 2 away in the Padre 8th. Now we'll bring up Chase Headley. And Logan Forsythe, who made his big league debut here today and grounded to short, was recalled. And as a procedural move, they placed Joe Thatcher on the 60-day disabled list. You move him from the 15 to the 60, basically as a procedure to take a man off the 40-man roster because Forsythe was not on the 40-man, and he has been added.
Doesn't pull the ball back in, just sticks it.
Ryan Rayburn, the left fielder. He takes a strike. And oftentimes when you see kids coming up through whatever age group they're in, catchers will try to pull that back in, thinking they're going to fool the umpire. And really what they're doing is they're telling the umpire, yeah, that wasn't a strike.
See it here all the time. Yeah, I mean, not all the time, but you see it at the big league level. You see guys pulling the glove up or pulling it in. You're not going to get a call when you're moving your glove around.
Porcello the runner at first after a leadoff infield single. McCutchen has been able to get Jackson to fly out. He struck out Sizemore. And that one a little bit low. Snyder wants an appeal. Mike Kuchlinski, the umpire there, says nope. That'll be ball 1. Daniel McCutchen from Norman, Oklahoma, went to the University of. One-two pitch to left field and deep. This one is foul. And a sigh of relief for McCutchen.
Just a long strike.
That thing was right down the line.
Let the change up over the heart.
Rayburn was trying to will that ball to go more to the right, but it wouldn't have any of it. Again, the 1-2. 2-2 now. Ryan Rayburn hitting in the 3rd spot for Jim Leyland's Detroit Tigers. Struck out in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, and then flied to left in the 5th. There is Miguel Cabrera. McCutchen like to stay away from him with runners on. 2-2. Strike 3. Got him. 2 strikeouts for Daniel McCutchen. And after giving up the infield single to Rick Porcello, he gets the Tigers in order. 1, 2, 3. So Ryan Rayburn swinging through this one. Good pitch, good location. Rayburn fans to end the top half of the 7th. It's stretch time here at PNC Park. Tigers leading it 2-0, and now we keep you here on this Sunday afternoon. Enjoying.
Gets his first at bat. Took over defensively for Logan Morrison in the 5th. case you're wondering, Josh Johnson has thrown tonight 98 pitches. And with that left-hander done loosening in the bullpen, and with Garrett Jones due up to lead off for the Pirates, a left-hand hitter, and then Doman and another lefty, Alvarez, sure is everything points toward Johnson being finished for the night, and it's just fine with the Pirates.
Indeed, I thought it was important to try to take advantage of all you could against Johnson, and whether it be extending at bats or drawing a walk or doing what you could to get that pitch count up. Never really did happen.
The bullpen didn't do Josh Johnson any favors last year. We'll see if that is going to happen, whether the bullpen will be called upon to try and protect a 6-0 lead, and see if the Pirates can't
tell you where the catcher's setting up, in or out. The runner at second might be able to tip you off somehow to let you know if he's in or out. But you certainly can't peek. If you peek, you're going to have a bruise. I remember Matt Williams. It used to be, people used to think the way he kind of rubbed his chin on his shoulder, they thought that somehow he was peeking in to see where the catchers sat up. But no, it's amazing, especially a big guy like Chris Snyder behind the plate. I mean, and you see the late movement at times, setting up for a pitch. And you think you'd be able to hear something, but you can't. Make hitting a lot easier.
Snyder setting up toward the outside. Pitch right there for a strike. So got Sizemore behind 1 and 2.
Take a look at the strike zone. It's paint.
One of the no-nos of hitting, you don't look, see what the catcher's doing. It's when you're not looking, you can tell the pitcher to do something that'll help him out later.
About the only thing that you could do as a hitter, or would know where the pitch could possibly be, in my mind, was that sometimes you'll see a catcher, they'll go tap their glove like right behind you to make it sound like he's inside. If you hear that, you know it's not going to be inside, typically.
Sometimes, can you pick up when a catcher, sometimes when he taps his glove on the ground, trying to tell the guy to bounce one up there? Is that something you can pick up?
Not really, no, can't. You don't hear very much.
Strike 3 call. McCutchen guns down Sizemore. 2 away in the 7th.
Take a look again. They're on the strike zone. A little help. See it in slow-mo. Chris Snyder real quiet with the glove.
We're able to go out there and handle Carpenter this afternoon. We really thought, I think, going into this one, that if the Pirates were going to win this afternoon, it would have to be a close ball game, low scoring. But again, baseball's a crazy sport. You never really know. And they came out and went at a pitcher that has dominated him for a long time and got him out of here early. A lot of base hits off of him.
9 to be exact. 7-0 Pittsburgh. 2 outs, and here's Holiday, who singled to center his last time up.
And Lincoln, also the other side of the coin, he did a great job pitching for the Pirates. We talked earlier about keeping the Cardinals in the ballpark, and he certainly did that.
This is popped up behind home plate.
Oh, nice play. A great catch. Congratulations.
His career 2.33 ERA against Pittsburgh, but today 6 earned runs allowed. They'll play behind Pujols at first, and here's the 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, if this run scored, holds up 7-0 right now, it's going to be kind of a hard loss for the Cardinals. They had to think with Carpenter on the mound today, a youngster facing them, will be making just his 3rd start this season. You got to think you're going to win, and not only to lose it, but to lose it in the fashion they have, where they've been dominated. It's going to be a tough ride home.
Milwaukee has Chicago tonight. And a called 3rd strike on Holiday sends us to the 9th. Pirates on top, 7-0.
So is he. Kids Day Sunday afternoon. A lot of these kids anxious to run the bases. A gorgeous Sunday at PNC Park. Get to do that after each game thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels.
Picture perfect day. Taking a ball game.
Yep, that's how many runs the Tigers have. That's right. Oh, looks like the Dippin' Dots, Rock.
Good stuff.
Here's Miguel Cabrera taking a strike from Daniel McCutchen. Nothing in 1 to Cabrera. Hit a double off the right field wall in the 6th inning. And flares this one into foul ground. Right into the front row. Well, fumble Ruski in the front row, but I think still recovered to get it. Gentleman in the green cap.
McCutchen ran one in there on Cabrera, tied him up.
No balls and 2 strikes. Cabrera 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch. 1-2, trying to get him to chase. Well, Colorado had a 1-0 lead in that game with Milwaukee. Brewers have since put 3 up through the top of the 6th inning. 3-1 Brewers. Houston leading Toronto 3-2, bottom of the 8th. St. Louis pounding Kansas City 7-1, top of the 5th. Cincinnati on the verge of being swept by Cleveland.
Sent them reeling.
9-4. Tribe with the lead over the Reds. Bottom of the 7th. Cleveland hangs on. That'll be 5 in a row down for Cincinnati. The Cubs and Boston play the rubber game at Fenway Park tonight. 3-2. Outside corner, got him. Called strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the game for Daniel McCutchen.
How about that? McCutchen coming in with just 6 strikeouts in 18 1/3 innings. And 3 straight here. As the strike zone has it a little bit off the outside corner, but the crew chief on it.
Rob Johnson has walked and grounded to short.
There'll be that time when he gets jammed with a fastball and it's a little number over the third baseman's head. They all even out, don't they? Seems like they do.
Yeah, you can't convince hitters they do. They forget the numbers in the Texas Leaguers and the bloops swinging bunts. They remember all those line drives caught. In for a strike. Slider. Well, McCutchen's done some good pitching out of the pen. This is his 8th game. He's gone now 10 innings plus, allowed only 6 hits. No runs. Just 2 walks, including the one tonight. And down goes Rob Johnson. He has his first strikeout. Does McCutchen. Will Venable. Hard ground ball out to the first baseman, and he struck out the last time.
It's the size of a bird.
Wow. And it was in the booth.
Mothra.
All I could see was you getting up
it was
and
Mothra.
Like your arms flailing.
Well, I was trying to get it. If it was a spider, I'd have been going out the back side. But since it was Mothra, I was trying to save you.
Mothra.
What happened there, by the way, while I was battling that moth?
Ground out the second.
Out, yeah. Man, that thing was big. I hit it once.
You hit that thing?
It didn't even phase it. No.
Ryan Howard.
Got all that moth dust on my hand.
0-2. Again, the shift on. That's Neil Walker playing shallow right. A 1-2 count on Howard.
Like a softball game with an outfield rover.
Yep. Brandon Wood now at first base, by the way. Two and two on Howard. Struck him out.
Chase down and away. That shift puts a lot of pressure on Snyder. A strikeout. He's got to throw the ball all the way out to deep short.
Yeah.
That word earned. Seems like in a day and age you get a lot of people. There's his mom and dad here. We heard from them earlier. His mom, Tammy, his father, Tim. You know, in a day and age when a lot of young players come up and they feel like they should be handed things instead of earning things. Justin Lear is a guy for the Reds who has earned his spot in this rotation and trying to earn a legitimate chance to be a part of the Reds rotation in 2010.
Well, those guys with great stuff are always going to get more chances than those guys that do it with command and with guile and with smoke and mirrors. But that's what the minor leagues are for. I mean, after all, if you don't reward a kid for having a great year in the minor leagues by bringing him up, whether it's from A-ball to AA or from AAA to the major leagues, I mean, what's the purpose of having your minor leagues? You do want to send a message to everybody down there that if you work hard enough and you do well, you've got a chance to make the big leagues. That's the idea. Got a pretty good arm too. I mean, he's thrown a few balls today in the mid-90s. I'm not saying he's a cunning thumber by any means. He's got pretty good command for a guy that throws a fastball this hard.
Gone swinging is Gomes, and they're 2 away in the inning.
Five strikeouts now. Second time he got Johnny Gomes on it. That's a splitter. We showed you before what that splitter looked like, and he goes to that same grip. That time he pulls down with his middle finger and he gets that ball to go away from Gomes, and they like it. Mom and Dad.
It's coming. You're going to need a new glove to get out there on the Little League fields. Daniel McCutchen gets out on this field. First time of the year. Didn't take long. First game up.
He'll probably got the freshest arm of anybody in the bullpen at this point. So Daniel McCutchen now will have to face Jose Morales. The 3-run double by Ty Wigginton. Big difference in the ball game so far. And we're at the top of the 8th. 6-3 Rockies. Jose Veras chased. He's on the hook right now. And Morales, without a hit tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk, takes strike one. McCutchen comes up from Indy after spending 2 days there. He was in Florida an extended period of time once he was sent down by the Pirates out of spring training. And a big swing and a miss.
He got to miss all that first week cold weather.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was fishing down there. He and James McDonald found a piece of private water down there. They were catching some huge bass. And so he made the most of his extra time down there, caught some more fish. 0-2. 1-2 now. McCutchen out of the University of Oklahoma. Two outs. Wigginton the runner at second. struck him out. McCutchen comes in, does the job, puts out the fire, but fire burned a little bit too long. Jose Veras got touched up for 3 runs. It's now a 6-3
series against the Washington Nationals, and that'll be Jeff Karstens on the mound as the Pirates announce that rotation for the weekend. Karstens will start on Friday night. Saturday night it'll be Kevin Correa, and Sunday afternoon Paul Mahalam. Next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the defending World Series champion Giants will be in Pittsburgh for their first and only trip. Daniel McCutchen faces the pitcher Josh Johnson to start this home half of the 6th inning.
Left-handed batting, right-handed throwing Johnson. Where's that elbow pad? I'm sure that everybody in the Marlin organization is thankful for. I mean, you wouldn't want to hurt that right elbow. Kind of stuff he has.
You can text Teak 412-412. Gentleman might be doing that right now. Johnson goes down.
Reds did take it, and you know, that's one of the greatest teams that's ever been on a baseball field, and that was my realization as I spoke to all the guys. I actually got to sit and watch the game with Sparky and talk through all his decisions, pitch by pitch, what was going on in his mind. And you know how Sparky is. I thought he was going to get an ulcer all over again as we were watching it. Somehow the outcome was going to be different. But it's still a tremendous game, and it holds up to this day. And I had to write about it. That feeling that game gave me stayed with me for 30 years. And I wanted to put the readers in Fenway Park that night. I talked to 100 people who had something to do with that game on one aspect or another. And so when you read the book, I think you'll feel like you've gone into a time machine a little bit, and you can go back and relive what that felt like to be there that night.
You're going to do a book signing tomorrow?
Yes, at Joseph Beth at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe, with you and Marty Brenneman. We're going to have a little Q&A and talk about the book. And
a week from tonight, I believe, on Labor Day. Well, that'll be a big game right out of the chute for Brian Kelly and the Bearcats. But they have Big East Offensive Preseason Player of the Year, Reading High alum Tony Pike, again at quarterback. And Marty Gilliard, his favorite target. Brand new defense, but boy, they are loaded up on offense.
It's an exciting style of offense they play.
Indeed. That'll be fun to watch. After reaching a BCS game for the first time in school history last year. Big expectations here in 09. Well, I saw you at a game last year.
I was.
Didn't I see you at the South Florida game?
Yes, you did.
That was a drilling.
It was a drilling. I didn't
Aren't
expect
you a South Florida alum?
I am. Moving for better things out of the Bulls this year.
Strike 3 called to Kip Wells. 2 strikeouts for Daniel McCutchen, who makes his big league debut today.
Touched him up for the second time in 3 games. Hanrahan did earn the save yesterday, but Friday night had a rough one, going just a third of an inning, giving up 3 runs. Today, 2/3 of an inning, responsible for 2 runs, and now the base is full with 2 men out for Daniel McCutchen.
McCutchen's numbers on the year, and he was going to be the guy used in the long situation today, but now here he's pitching in the 9th inning. Pirates find themselves a run down, and this game is going to have some repercussions for tomorrow with that bullpen. There's 3 guys that have pitched 2 days in a row. Hanrahan, Resop, and Veras. Well, now Veras and Hanrahan have both now pitched 3 days in a row. So that doubleheader, starters are going to have to be very strong for the Pirates. Bullpen going to be a little short tomorrow.
Steve Pearce goes into first base. McCutchen inserted into the number 2 spot in the batting order. Garrett Jones was. Joey Votto. A little chopper to the right side, and that is a foul ball. .342 with the bases loaded. But this season, 0 for 4 with the sacks full. And certainly concern on many of the young faces here this afternoon. Pirates are 3 outs away from evening things up in the Central Division standings with the Reds.
And would have had a game up in the loss column on them.
Yep. Started the day a game back, and now perilously close to dropping 2 back. Boy, things just can change in a heartbeat in this game, can't they?
Yeah, I think right now you just want to finish the season strong. Guys that are having good years, take it all the way to the finish line. And this year, I think, has shown everybody that we're not that far away. So you can go a long ways on good pitching.
Strike 2 to Votto. The Pirates still have 3 outs to work with in the bottom of the 9th inning. As the Reds scored here in the top half of the 9th, Pirates may be able to do it in the bottom half. We'll see. They could do it off of Francisco Cordero. Phillips at second base. Over at first is Fred Lewis, and Votto takes ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And he struck him out. So Votto goes down swinging with the bases full, but damage done. 2 runs in. It'll be Doman.
Now here's Jonathan Lucroy coming to the plate for Milwaukee. That's a great closer the Pirates have. Just hasn't had a lot of things to close lately, Mr. Hanrahan.
Yeah, and I can speak to the fact that it's frustrating when you're a closer and you go through these streaks as a team where you don't get the opportunity to go out there and do your job.
The Hanrahan is putting up near historic numbers this year, but.
And speaking to Clint Hurdle about him before the game, and Clint's really impressed with how he's taken the job as a closer and run with it. And he's still learning how to close. Well, I think the learning curve is over. I think he knows how to close.
We saw McCutchen on deck. In the spot where Estrada had started today. Again, Estrada went 5 innings. The Brewers getting a real nice performance from a guy who had not started since early May. Down the line and left, it's foul. Tell you what, pitching wise, maybe not since the days of Vukovich and Haas and Caldwell and McClure. They had a pitching rotation like they have right now, Mitch. And that doesn't include Marco Estrada in it. We're talking about the Zach Greinke, Gallardo Markham
Sean
thing.
Markham. And that for me in the winter, that is what put me over the edge. There was two things involved in my decision on who I thought would win the Central. The first being when Adam Wainwright went out for the year for the Cardinals, and then the addition of Markham and Greinke to this pitching staff, for me, made the Brewers the Central favorite hands down.
Well, the fans here are with you. There was a run on season tickets as soon as the Greinke thing happened.
And there's a look at Zach Greinke, who last night twirled up a gem here. And Ron Renicky said last night was the first time all year that he saw the Zach Greinke throw like the Cy Young Award winner from 2 years ago, where he turned it loose. His velocity was great. He located great. And I just don't. I felt the same way about him. I just didn't think that we had seen the guy that go to the mound and just turn it loose.
He's not lost here at home yet. I think Gallardo has held up his end of the deal. Markham, same story.
And Gallardo started slow. I mean, he had a slow start to the season, then and turned it completely around. Sean Markham's been exactly what they thought he was going to be. And Zach Greinke, his ERA is elevated, but when you look at his won-loss total, you have to be impressed. I believe he's won 11 and lost 4. With an 8-0 record here at home, so the fans here in Milwaukee gotta love him. And I think when you look at it, there had to be the right situation for Greinke to go to. I mean, with the well-documented social anxiety issues that he deals with, I think a town like Milwaukee, where, I mean, let's be honest, they're friendly Midwestern people. It's a great place for them to go.
It is. They're friendly people, but the Pirates, they don't like it here. They just can't seem to win here.
And by Jeep. The Jeep summer clearance is here. Get to your Jeep dealer today for some of the best deals of the season. Just a beautiful Monday afternoon in Cincinnati. And a major league debut for Daniel McCutchen. He gave up a home run to the very first batter he faced, Drew Stubbs, and retired the next 3. And then gave his team the lead with a 2-out run scoring single in the second. 2-1 game. Mom Tammy, his dad Tim, in the stands today. And we've already seen them applauding his base hit to knock in a run a moment ago. Johnny Gomes looks at a strike. Johnny at 281, and that one ripped foul. I'm not sure if that ball hit the ball boy's glove, then hit him in the helmet, or whether trying to make the catch, it just fell off. Hopefully he's all right.
That ball was smoked. Maybe it was a combination ball and helmet and glove all at the same time. He looks to be okay.
I hope so. A lot of top spin on that line drive.
He's tying
Get out of the way.
Tying the laces of that glove a little tighter out there a little bit now.
Well, he's got to come get that one.
And Dustin Pedroia coming up. Well, earlier in the game we were talking about, you know, if a 3-game sweep is known as a sweep, should a 2-game sweep be known as a sweep? And go to first base and Ellsbury back. The idea we got is it should be called a dusting.
I like it.
It's a 2-game dusting.
I think you got something there. A sweep and a dusting.
Thanks to Milt, who emailed that in down in Florida. Pedroia at the plate, 0-1, and the American League steals leader at first base, and Jacoby Ellsbury.
We got the Dodgers coming in for a 1 game.
Yeah, now we got
to
go back to the drawing board for that. 0-1, there goes Ellsbury. He had a good jump too, and Pedroia fouls it off.
And an excellent jump.
24 stolen bases for Ellsbury. He's been caught a league leading 10 times. He knew he had a good jump too.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 steps in before the ball was released to the plate.
Ahead of Coco Crisp by 1. Elvis Andrus of the Rangers with 22. Talk about Ichiro with 19, and Ichiro's no real young gun anymore.
No, that's just what I was thinking about. He still getting it done. Can you imagine what his numbers would have been if he would have started his career in the States?
Would have been remarkable.
What was his first 6 years in Japan before he got to come over?
0-2 coming to Dustin Pedroia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, the numbers that Ichiro's put up, you're looking at your first Japanese-born Hall of Famer.
Oh, well, no doubt in my mind.
Pedroia without the sunglasses this time up. There goes Ellsbury. And again, shot fouling out of play. Again, Ellsbury with a very good jump.
Pedroia's got 2 strikes on him, so he can't really worry about taking a pitch, letting Ellsbury try and steal. He's got to swing if he thinks it's going to be in the zone. Got rid of the glasses, went with the eye black.
I think he had those on underneath the glasses anyway. I think. Double protection against the UV rays.
You can't be too safe.
There goes Ellsbury, and this one down the right field line, tailing away from Jones, and it'll go foul. In case you missed it around baseball, some of the stories happening. Jose Bautista going back to third base this week, so we'll see him at third after playing 68 games in right field. Davey Johnson, the new manager, take over the team tomorrow, so we'll see him also on the next road trip. Sparky Anderson's jersey number 11 retired by the Tigers, and Roy Halladay, a complete game today. 4 strikeouts against the A's. 3-1 Philadelphia win. 5th complete game of the season. And the Red Sox head to Philadelphia after this game. They'll have a day off there tomorrow and open up a series on Tuesday. Think there'll be a little interest in that series?
Most likely.
2 of the best teams in the game going at it head-to-head 3 straight days.
Where are the Yankees going, though? They're the ones I'm going to be rooting for.
You know, your new favorite team tied up Colorado, by the way, in the 7th. It's 4-4. 2-2 to Pedroia.
It's weird. I've never been all that interested in the Yankees before. I don't know what happened.
It's all right. You'll be over it by tomorrow. Next Swisher, Jorge Posada, hitting home runs for New York in that game against Colorado. There goes Ellsbury. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Throw down. Not in time. Almost got to strike him out, throw him out, but Ellsbury's so quick.
How about some interference there? Now Pedroia, watch him come across the plate after he finishes his swing. Right in front of Fryer.
He tried to duck, I think.
Yeah, that was no contact. I think you got to have some contact for him to make that call.
7-0, including the manager, who has called all the right shots today. And now the Mets are up 9-7. Daniel McCutchen will come on to try to finish the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Daniel McCutchen, who came in here at Citi Field, only giving up 1 earned run, has been touched in his last 2 relief outings against the Mets for a couple of runs.
Now Jason Bay will try and add to this lead. Jason is 0 for 2 today. He's walked and been hit by a pitch. Murphy now at third, Reyes at second, and Beltran at first. 2 runs home here in the 8th inning. The Mets have grabbed the lead on a single, 4 walks, a wild pitch, and a balk. And Bay takes a strike from McCutchen, 0-1. Bay, the 8th man up in the inning. Well, not to be overlooked in what the Mets have accomplished this afternoon is the fact that they've gotten 3 scoreless innings out of their bullpen, which had been struggling so badly. Burdack, Parnell, Isringhausen, each with a scoreless inning to give the Mets a chance to come back. And K-Rod getting ready to finish the deal. It's been 11 years since the Mets have come from 7 runs down to win a game. The club record for comebacks is an 8-run deficit. They did that against the Astros back in '72. Day lays off, and it's 1-2. Bay fouls it off. You know, I was just looking at that shot of Terry Collins and thinking of something Terry said this morning. He was talking about his reactions last night, and he was asked about, you know, his reputation of being a little too fiery and maybe being a little over the top. And he said, you know, I've matured and I've tempered that a little bit. He said, but I'm still pretty competitive. He said, if we were playing ping pong, I'd try to kick your butt.
Yeah, he's got a great desire to win. You're right.
And you can see it in the way he has handled himself the last 24 hours. Here's the 1-2 to Bay. Struck him out to end the inning. So McCutchen puts an end to it, but the Mets with a 2-run 8th inning against Jose Veras, who hurt himself with 4 walks, a balk, and a wild pitch. But it all started with a Ronnie Polino hit. The balk, the wild pitch, and the Mets lead 9-7 after 8.
The dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers, and buy McDonald's of Greater Cincinnati. Reds back to work with Jay Bruce. Valentine and Tatum due up. Reds' opportunities have been few and far between. A single from Votto in the first, a walk to Bruce in the second, a 1-out double to Stubbs, and the Reds had 2 ground ball outs in the third to end that threat. A walk to Rowland in the fourth with 1 out, and then the leadoff double by Giannis in the sixth, but Reds couldn't even get him to third. So get him on, get him over, get him in. Hasn't worked tonight for the Reds. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fouled off, but held on to by Domet. That's a strikeout of Jay. So he's 0 for 2 and a walk. And here comes Valentine, who's 0 for 2.
You get that many quality players for, you know, a couple of guys that are going to be moving on anyway. That's what you hope for.
Alan Craig moves to the on-deck circle, which would be Mitchell Boggs' spot. And Fernando Salas, who has been a closer this year for the Cardinals, getting loose. A strike to Descalso, who's bounced into a 6-4-3 double play. And he also singled in the 5th. Alan Craig has had tremendous numbers against the Pirates this year. That's pulled foul, 0-2, going back to Chris Carpenter, who made the start today for the Cardinals from 0-4 up until this season through 2010. 11-1 against the Pirates with a 2.12 ERA. And if he loses today, he'll drop to 1-2 against the Pirates with an ERA of 5. Bit surprising.
Yep. Numbers, I think his ERA even lower than that here in St. Louis.
Held on to by Descalso, and it's a strikeout. Daniel thought it hit the dirt. Instead, it's a strikeout. And the first out recorded by McCutchen.
It was a close one.
And the correct call. So Alan Craig will be the hitter.
Hey, Dan, you mentioned about Craig.
In his last 16 games, he's on fire. And almost all of that here at home. He had the hot homestand when the Nats took care of Seattle. St. Louis before that. And, of course, Baltimore, and the Nats have all this momentum, having lost only one of their last 11 games right here.
Yeah, and Danny Espinosa leading off the 7th right now. He's hit a couple of balls hard tonight, so get the leadoff man on and see what you can do.
Pirates bullpen has a long way to go in this game, and the Nats starter has gone 7 again. Daniel McCutchen will get the call for the Bucks here in the bottom of the 7th. Tyler Clippard is the Nats' 8th inning guy. And the Nats have 7 innings or more out of Tom Gorzelani for the 2nd consecutive time and for the 4th time this year.
Yeah, McCutchen, 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball. Curve and a change to go with it. The 2-seamer will go 88 to 93. The 4-seamer 90 to 95.
Gorzelani, by the way, 95 pitches, 68 strikes. So that could be it for him. First pitch 90 inside corner for a strike. Look at him turn that one over. You could tell on our shot, which Danny Espinosa could not see, that was a different kind of grip. 28-year-old right-hander. Danny tonight has lined out hard to third and flied out to left. So against the right-hander, Charlie Morton, he had him going opposite field both times. Hit the ball on the button, and he'll take that one low, 1-2. Wilson Ramos, Ian Desmond to follow here in the 7th. Espinosa with a big swing, and he's gone. Nats have been on the road a lot lately. If you're hitting the road, you can take baseball with you, Washington style, MLB.tv.
But plan to.
Not me.
It?
Nope.
No?
Don't want to see it. I have no.
Game score is probably going to be in there somewhere.
I thought of saying that. Haven't watched a baseball movie or read a baseball book in a long, long time. Last baseball book I read was Ball 4.
Jim Bob?
Yep, back in, I think when I was in high school.
Mesoraco fouls this pitch off 0-2.
I look at it this way. We live it every day. We watch it. We don't need to read or watch fiction.
Well, Moneyball is a true story.
Like I said.
Oh-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He strikes out. McHenry tags him. And Devin Mesoraco today is 1 for 4.
Blowing kind of from left to right.
Deory Hernandez will pinch hit rather than Brooks Conrad. Initially, Freddie Gonzalez had Brooks Conrad out on deck, and now he goes with Deory Hernandez with 2 outs. He was recalled from AAA May the 8th. 1-1. McCutchen struck out 4 of the 7 batters he faced in those 2 scoreless innings on Sunday against Detroit. Scored upon just twice in his last 17 games. One and 2.
93 miles an hour with location. Daniel McCutchen may have found his niche.
Struck him out.
Coming out of that bullpen.
1, 2, 3. Go the Atlanta Braves in the top of the 7th inning, and another look at the strikeout of Deory Hernandez as he's caught looking on our AGH cam.
Gives up on this overhand curveball. There's the spin. And it settles nicely right on the corner.
And now take me out to the ball game.
out to the ball game.
Come down to a ball game, that's nonsense. The Kroger meal deal. Top of the order for the Reds against Daniel McCutchen, who makes his major league debut today. Reds in front 3-2, and Stubbs a big reason why. A leadoff home run in the first inning, the first this year hit by a Red. And then he had a one-out single, stole a base, and scored on a single by Sutton in the third inning. Slider away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sutton gone on strikes. That's number 3 of the day for Mr. McCutchen. Number 4, I beg your pardon. Well, tonight
bolster their outfield speed for their ballpark, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, and they've sure done that with McCutchen and Lasting's millage. So 1 out, runner still at second, and here's Brandon, struck out, bounced out 0 for 2. Now the other part, you were talking earlier about Justin Lear being tired after all the innings pitched and all the starts during the course of this year, meaning the winter and spring and the season, and he can't get that full extension. And when I looked at John Smoltz delivering, he didn't get that extra extension that always gave him that movement at the end, or that little bit of bump to his velocity that he had during his heyday.
Yeah, that's a good observation. He looks like a guy coming back off of arm injury. Some guys really show it. Right now, John does, and I think that he's got a little bit left in the tank. What is he, 40 or 41 years old? But still, that's an incredible athlete. But just not quite the ball coming out of his hand like it used to. And he may be better off in the bullpen, and that might be where they end up using him in the long run anyway.
I really had the feeling that when they did bring him on board, that was their end plan when all was said and done, build up a little arm strength and then use him to make their bullpen much more complete. And we saw it even before he came to the National League. I mean, his velocity for the first 2 or 3 innings was measurably higher than in the last 4th and 5th inning, sometimes the 6th when he was in Boston. So if he knows he's going to have to go an inning or 2 at the most, his velocity will be better, and maybe that'll be a place where he could help the Cardinals in the postseason.
And he actually pitched better than his numbers showed that night. The grand slam by Lance Nix was on an 0-2 pitch, a curveball that he threw him 3 curveballs in a row, threw 2 real good ones. Nix went to school on each of those, and he finally hung one, and that's when Lance got it out of here.
Swing and a miss by Brandon. He's retired. As your second out of the inning, the runner's still sitting out at second base for the Reds. Welcome.
Cubs scored 2 in the first inning, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, another in the fourth. Correa, 3 2/3, gave up 5. Chris LaRue, 1 1/3, scoreless. Strike on Pena. Reds and Brewers tied at 3 after 6. Arizona leads 5-1 at St. Louis in the bottom of the 6th. Snap throw to first by McHenry.
Can't blame that young man for feeling a little feisty.
He likes to do that. He's shown in the time he's been with the Pirates that he will, on occasion, gun that ball down toward first, try and pick off a runner. One and two. Pena lined a single in the 5th inning between the second base bag and the second baseman Walker. And now they'll, with a 1-2 count, move Harrison not just well off the line at third, but over to the right side of second. On 0-2, he was just well off the line. Now 1-2. He moves over there, so 3 infielders on the right side. Chase Darno is the shortstop. Pena had an opposite field single in the 3rd off Correa. Struck out in the 1st. And now 2-2 on Pena. How about that? That didn't take long.
Wow, that is quick. And that's legit.
That's
stuff.
legit right there. Caught looking is Carlos Pena.
At left side. So some anxious moments here with Carlos Gomez, and
don't look now, but Craig Counsell's starting to swing the bat much better.
That's right.
That was a nice piece of hitting. Able to dump one into center field and almost was able to get his RBI.
Both Axford and Narveson doing some throwing. LaTroy Hawkins was throwing a moment ago. I'm still thinking about the Dan Johnson home run.
That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, Mariano Rivera not in the ball game. The Boston Red Sox sitting in that clubhouse in Baltimore watching it rain, and they went from a 7-0 lead, the Yankees, to a tie game in 2 innings.
7-0, bottom of the 8th. Rays score 7 unanswered. They're still batting. They have the winning run aboard. No Mariano Rivera. Scott Proctor pitching for the Yankees. As I recall, Dan Johnson hit a big home run for the Rays in 08. Part of that World Series run for Joe Madden's Rays. He did it against Boston. Counsell takes off, and there's a called strike 3. The inning is over. Side retired to the 9th. The Brewers are 3.
He's dealt with a lot of stuff, and he's still come out very strong and hitting well over 300.
His work ethic, his approach is so solid. Here's Brandon, fouls it off the mask of Domit for strike 1. Here's one that'll jar your head a little bit.
Ooh. Well, he had a pitch there to drive, too. That's one of those pitches that Brandon Phillips is looking for on the first pitch of an at-bat with a man on base. 5 away from 100 runs batted in. He could have a big night, a couple nights in a row, and get to that number.
Kind of hit a plateau. He had a great, when we were in Pittsburgh, he went from 88 to 92 runs batted in, got up to 95, and is stalled there for the better part of the last week.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of guys on.
Well, when you get Votto hitting in front of you, he doesn't leave many, does he?
And you know, exactly. When you've got the guy who is the player of the week hitting in front of you, who's leading the world in doubles, I mean, he's cleaning up the base paths for you.
That's right.
So the good news is the team is scoring runs. The bad news is you're not getting the RBI.
No balls, 1 strike to Brandon. Now Joey had bluffed going to second, and they'll all of a sudden realize he's over there and toss back to first and hold him.
Well, he's quickly gaining the reputation of being one of the better base runners on this Reds ball club. Not the speediest by far, but from first to third and from second to home, he's one of the best because he really works at it.
No balls, 1 strike. We just left Houston, and he reminds me a lot at the similar stage of his career, Jeff Bagwell. Bagwell was never the fastest runner on his ball club that had some real speed burners, but he was always a smart base runner and would steal a base because you just forget about him. And Joey has the potential to do that throughout his career.
You know, he must know when Daniel McCutchen's coming over, because he'll take a lead and then he'll shorten his lead by a full stride, and then McCutchen throws to first base.
He wasn't more than a step off the bag that
I think that Votto's got the signs coming out of that Pirate dugout.
He just knows Joe Kerrigan. That's down low. Joe will throw over there a lot. All the pitches and throwovers called by Joe Kerrigan on the bench, the pitching coach for this Bucco team. He waves at that. Phillips retired, still with the Reds, even with the hit from Joey Votto. For the second we go, Millage will lead it off. Phillips back to second.